Yo, 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 what is good? It is it is Monday the 7th of December here in Tokyo. Um yeah, just another day here in Tokyo. Episode number 28 of Player Life. And indeed, I am living that player life here in Tokyo. So it's a good time. It's a good time to be alive. Uh, Still enjoying relative freedom here in Tokyo. You know, they're yeah, it's just places are still open for business, clubs, bars, everything. Um, not really an issue. No problem with it. Um, yeah, just the only difference is people wearing masks. Um, yeah, I don't know why, but Japanese, I don't know, they don't seem as brainwashed. Um, you know, Christian Maticio in the house, daily dose of game, indeed, and I will be giving out the dosages of game. Uh, yes, so today, today I was going to talk about what it means when chicks don't respond in a timely manner. A lot of guys kind of suck on the hopium. They they don't really acknowledge that the reality of when chicks don't respond on time. Uh, they say things to themselves like, "Oh, she just didn't see it, oh, she must be so busy, she just didn't get round to it yet." I mean, the reality is if she didn't respond to it within a few hours, uh that means she's just not that interested. She has other things going on. And if she responds like days or like a week later, that means you're definitely on the back burner, um for sure. you know uh it's the same way guys, they think they kind of swallow the hopium pills uh when they use dating apps. They start, they say they justify not not getting laid, or not things not working out on dating apps by saying things like, oh, they're just trying to advertise their Instagram, or this, that, and the other. And I've said this before, like, you can kill two birds with one stone. But the thing is, all of these chicks, if they're on these dating apps, they are definitely having sex. And it's unfortunate maybe that, if you're not one of those guys that is smashing. But these chicks are smashing other guys, and it's better to, if you're not one of those guys, it's better to swallow the truth pill rather than lying to yourself and getting nowhere. Because I've just seen it so many times when guys say things. A friend of mine today, he brought it up. He was like, he said to me in a message, we were talking about Bumble or something, and he said they want the ride but don't want to be seen as easy, so they deprive themselves of sex and men they find attractive. Around the circle they go. It's still those vibrators I blame. It gives them an easy out. So this is a classic hopium cope. This is like, so I told him straight up. I said, that's a bit of a cope, man. They're definitely having sex. You know, it's just a thing. You just gotta, like, guys need to accept that. There's been studies done that have shown that uh, women are having just as much as sex as they always were, maybe even more, but guys are having less sex. Um, let's see. Danny Arnold says. Uh, Okay, Danny Arnold says, I saw you being collabing by Troy Francis a handful of weeks ago. You actually gave me the most feeling of I might be able to learn game. I just want to say thank you. Very good, man. Yeah, we can all learn game. It's just it's a mindset. You have to change your mindset. Um, Miguel is in the house. Good start to the week. Glad to make it a good start. Um, Yeah, so it's yeah. Um Danny Arnold says, especially day game, I'm not really a nightclub guy. LOL. Yeah, I mean day game's the old reliable. Um, you know. I was actually out, so I went out on Saturday night and I met a friend, and we were going to bars and clubs, and it wasn't it was all right. It was fun. We were doing nightclub game, we were doing bar game, we were approaching girls. We're having a good time, but nothing much really happened. Um, the clubs we went to were a bit of a cock fest. A lot of dudes in there. Um, it was just one of those nights you win you lose kind of thing. But an interesting thing happened when I left the nightclub. You know, uh, my one of my mates, we went our separate ways, but I ran into this French guy, and he was outside the nightclub, and he said, yo, like, how was it, is it worth going in? And I was like, nah, it's not worth going in. There's a lot, like, the ratio is pretty bad. And yeah, he said, so we just started talking and saying, where do you usually pick up chicks? And he said he did day game too. So I was like, "Oh, cool. That's unusual. I don't usually meet guys that exclusively get chicks from day game." And this guy wasn't particularly, yeah, he wasn't a particularly handsome guy. Like, I mean, but so I was just wanted to see what he had to say. But he said, so I said, how's it work out, or how's it going for you? How many chicks do you pull? Uh, Christian Maticio says, was this the same French guy who tried fighting MLD? I doubt it was. This guy was pretty chill. I mean, he wasn't very. I mean, he seemed like a cool guy. This guy, but I think he's apparently the guy that MLD started. Almost had a fight with. Slapped MLD's hand or something. I can't imagine the guy I met doing something like that. But anyway, yeah, I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Anyway, this guy I met, he wasn't particularly good looking guy, but he said he last month, in November, he picked up 11, like, and smashed 11 new chicks from digging. And I take things like that with a pinch of salt. I don't like, people, 11 in a month, 11 new chicks exclusively from Dagan is pretty good. Let's be honest. So, we said, we started, like, basically, it was Saturday night, pretty late, after midnight anyway. But I mean, we were in downtown in the night area where, it's, really, like, lively and busy, and lots of people out. And to be honest, there's a lot more hot chicks on the street than there was in the nightclub. That's often the case. I mean, especially in Tokyo. Especially, there's sometimes on the streets, like out and about, there's, especially around at nighttime, there's like way more hot chicks out. So sometimes you're paying to go into somewhere where there's like there's less options, like way less options. So it's so anyway. Long story short, we just started doing like game together. So approaching like girls, yeah, in pairs, and but I always kind of like, sometimes I like to do game with, a new person. Usually I do game alone. Um, you know, uh, but so yeah, I was like seeing how this guy was doing it, but this guy was kind of inspirational because, like I said, he wasn't particularly handsome or tall, or to be honest, his style wasn't even even that good, like his dress sense. But the one thing this guy had was very impressive, was his resilience and his persistence. This guy had no fear whatsoever, and like he wasn't drunk or anything. It wasn't like, oh, he's just, no, he wasn't. I don't even think he was drinking at all. But it just reminded me. Sometimes I need to be reminded about how uh how persistence and like resilience pays off in day game, because he would approach a chick, get rejected, try a little bit, not give up so easy. His style was way different to mine, to be honest, but um I wouldn't be as persistent, but he would just relentlessly approach, like, he'd approach one chick, she'd reject him. We'd approach other chicks, and it was interesting. And we had a plan, because he lived like downtown, so his apartment was near. So the goal was, we were going to try and get chicks like back to his. So yeah, we were approaching like pairs. But so what we would do is just approach, like, get talking to them, take them for a drink, or take them back to his. Um, but I just did it for a bit. We did it for maybe an hour, and I made out with like three girls within an hour. Um, we didn't get them back that night, but just having, like, just doing day game, well, night game, and we would try and take them back, but pretty much all the girls bailed in the end. But it just reminded me, because I've just been doing so much online. Bumble has just been has been very generous generous to me, but I'm kind of getting the thirst to do more day game. Um, uh, yeah, Danny says, I like MLD as well. I don't know if I'll ever be a next level game sort of guy like Jonathan, but I intend to enjoy finding out. Well, man, at least you're trying. You gotta make it happen. If you want it to happen, it'll happen for sure. You just gotta put in the work. You know, you just gotta envision yourself as being a player, basically, and it will happen. It will happen if you try. Yeah, but that was Saturday night. Pretty good. And yesterday, I had another Bumble chick come around. Um, so how did that go? It was, yeah, she just basically, I matched with her on Bumble. We talked for a bit, and to be honest, with this girl, it got really, like, we were talking, like, you know, we were pretty much sexting. Like, I had turned her out before we met, so yeah, it was pretty much on. Um, if she came. So like some girls will like, uh it's not good to. I often say it's probably best to to avoid like bringing up the subject of sex, but sometimes you can go there if you just get that feeling. If you just you can just risk it if you're not really caring a lot. Um, but this chick, what did I say? So I just hit her up and said, um, I said, where are we at? Okay, let me see this. Um, okay, so I said, hey, are you free tonight? And then are you free tomorrow? So this was Sunday night, last night, and uh, I said, are you free tomorrow? Because I wasn't expecting her to come over tonight, last night, and she said, what about tonight? So that was like, and it was already late. This was like 11 p.m. at night. So I was like, okay, she's saying tonight, and this is after I already had been sexting with her like a few days ago, but we still didn't meet yet. And sometimes when you get sexting a girl, yeah, sometimes it can just fade out, but just because you kind of like, I just, like I said, sometimes it's best not to go there, but other times, you can go there if it's like that kind of ratchet, that kind of sexual vibe off the bat. And this was kind of this was like a sexual thing off the bat, because she like her first message on Bumble was like, "You're so hot," and a wink. And when a girl, well, this girl wasn't Japanese, but this girl was from the Philippines. But still, it was kind of, when a girl does that, that's like, you know, if a girl does something slightly sexual, you need to multiply it by 10, because girls don't usually go there, especially on the first message. Anyway, so she said, "What about tonight?" And I said, "Sure. Can you come to my station?" And she says, "He, I'm kidding. I just had a few drinks. I'm in." Yeah, she said she's in like someplace downtown. And I said, "Oh, well, why don't you come and meet me?" And she says, "Well, your station's quite far from mine, you know." And so I said, "Well, you can stay here. Bear in mind, it's 11 p.m." And then she says, "You'll have to work tomorrow, right?" I said, "No, I'm off. We can relax." And then she says, "Wait, you're off. How come?" Anyway, she's like, so we're doing this. And then she says, "Will I be safe if I come there?" And then I say, "Of course, I'm a gentleman." And she says, "Well, I'm a little scared." And I said, "No way, you'll be safe with me. You should come now. I'll meet you at the station." And then she says, "You're not expecting sex tonight if I come, right?" So this is interesting. So when girls say something like this does not mean you're not going to have sex. This means that's her plausible deniability. That's like, she comes to my station, like, and she doesn't like my vibe at all. That means like she'll feel she has like, the right, because she already said like, we're not gonna have sex tonight. Um, so that's what that is. A lot of most like almost all girls will do that, even if in her mind, right, she's thinking, I want to have sex tonight. I'm gonna go and meet this guy. But I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna give myself plausible deniability. I'm just going to meet him, and I don't, so if I don't like him, I already told him that I don't want to have sex with him. But yeah, that's exactly what that is. That is not her telling me that we're not gonna have sex. That's her giving herself the chance uh, in case she doesn't like me when she meets me. That's what girls do. They have to do it just to give themselves that out, you know. She meets me and I look completely, if I tried to catfish her or I look completely different, I can understand why they have to do it, but it's just something all girls do. Bear that in mind. Miguel says, as Troy says, learn game or die trying. Learn game or die trying, As MLD always says too, money, muscles, game. Boom. You know. It's just you gotta learn it. It's one of the three pillars. You gotta have it. You gotta have your game. Game is life. Danny says, question for you. Is there such thing as don't care game or not giving a shit game? I ask because there's been a handful of times where women were interested when I was basically apathetic. I mean, yeah, of course there's not giving a shit game. You have that, the less you care, the better it is because, you just have that carefree vibe about you. Just depends on how you pull it off. It takes a certain skill. I mean, the fact that if you're able to roll up to like multiple girls and like genuinely not fear any kind of rejection, that's not giving a shit. But if you roll up to a chick and like you're kind of, I don't know, as long as your vibe is interesting and good, it's as long as you're not giving her the impression that you really, this interaction is really like a huge deal for you. The less you give off that impression, the better. Where it's just like casual, you're relaxed. You want to be so relaxed that you put her at ease. It's all about getting them to calm down because girls are like scared when a guy comes up to them, a strange guy, and they don't, uh, you're just trying to put them like make them by you not behaving weird and being nervous about the interaction. They will calm down and they'll dig your vibe if you play it right. What freaks chicks out is when the guy is like acting nervous. She does she doesn't know he's gonna pull a knife on her or do something. Because sometimes when guys act nervous, they're just. It's not that they're gonna do anything bad. It's just that it kind of looks suspicious. Imagine just imagine you're standing on the street corner and some guy comes up to you and he's acting like nervous and like not, he's acting weird, like he's just visibly nervous. You'd be kind of freaked out. You'd be like, shit, like what's he gonna do? Like he's trying to do something, like there's something going on here. But that's just the way you gotta understand it. That obviously if someone, it's kind of like contagious. If someone's acting nervous around you, then you're gonna get nervous too. But if you're confident, calm, relaxed, then the other person's gonna be like, that's gonna rub off on them. Daniel in the house, what is good? Daniel Mendez, Winston Wolf in the house, Mac and Chat, very happy to see you. The Time Traveler back in the house, good morning. Yeah, so just back to the story about the Filipino chick. So like I said, she said, you're not expecting for sex tonight if I come, right? And of course you don't say, hey bitch, like I want to fuck, like like you don't need to say that. You just say, what I said is, no, it's okay, we can cuddle if we get along. Say something kind of neutral. Don't say like, oh, I just want to bang. Like, no, you just take it as it is, and understand that these chicks have to say that as plausible deniability, because if they don't, it's just a way of them, gives them more comfort to come to meet me. Know your worth in the house. What is good? Yo, yo, yo. Um, so anyway, yeah, she says, great. I'll see my last train there. And then I say, what time will you arrive? And she said, I don't, I'll check the time. And she says, do you drink? I said, well, we can have a drink if you want. She says, yes, please. And then I said, no problem. There are bars around the station. So I said, perfect. And then she says, I'll be there at 11:06. But and then I say, you mean 12:06? And she says, oh yeah, 12:06. So she was coming to meet me at 12:06, like after midnight. So that means, that means obviously in Tokyo, it's obviously if she's coming at that time, she's gonna she's gonna miss her last train. So the fact that she's coming then is like obviously she has to stay with me. She's gonna stay with me or get a taxi. But, taxis in Tokyo are pretty expensive. I think she lived pretty far from where I'm at, so it's obvious she's gonna stay. So yeah, so she said 12:06. I said come to the west exit. See you soon. And then basically I went to meet her. I just went to meet her at the station, 12:06, and she was there. She was there waiting, and she was pretty hot. 26-year-old Filipino chick, very very curvy, nice curvy girl. Yeah, nice girl too. Nice, relaxed. We just met her. She hugged me immediately. Um, Filipino chicks are a lot more chilled than Japanese chicks. Japanese chicks would never give you a hug the first time you meet them. They would never do that. Um, yeah, but anyway, so I took her for a drink, and just got her comfortable. Uh, got her comfortable. Had a good chat with her. She's nice. She was easy to talk to. Like there was no, she's a nice personality. There's no, no like, no ignorance, no bullshit. Um, talkative, no problem. I knew we were gonna bang, like it was obvious, but you just have to go through the motions. But yeah, so just after we had a drink, you just walked her back to my house. There was no games because it's obvious she's staying in my house. It's like it was, by the time we finished, like the last trains were finished, so uh, it wasn't. It didn't have to play I didn't have to play those games, when it's like, oh, trying to, what are we gonna do now? Like, there was none of that. I didn't even say it. I just walked her to my house. The same, but it wasn't like there was no fear of her like rejecting at the last minute, coming to my house and be like, oh, I don't do this on the first date. It's like, no, she was clearly gonna stay with me, even though we hadn't said it. We hadn't talked about her staying, but she implied it by asking me, did I work the next day? It's like 1 a.m. at this point. There's no trains. So she walked to my house. There was no issue. Nothing said. And she came in, and yeah, we just started making out, and yeah, we pretty much went at it. She had a little bit of last minute resistance just because she said, oh, I don't do this, usually do this on the first date. Yeah, they just want to say this. They just say this like, it's part of motion. It's just part of the game, like the dance you have to do before you have sex. But yeah, I mean, there was zero problem. But yeah, she stayed over all night, and then yeah, we woke up in the morning, had a good time in the morning, and yeah, I was nice. I was nice. I took her to have breakfast in the morning. Nice. If girls behave, they're nice. You can treat them. It's all right. But you know, it's just nice now when a girl just doesn't like really play these games and just like roll with it. and yeah, there's you just have a good time. Um, Danny says she's only committing to staying at that hour. She definitely was knowing to willing, you know, if a girl comes like to your local area at that hour, yeah, it's like it's commitment. It's definite commitment. She's definitely thirsty, for sure. Yeah, that's not a lot of chicks will like come that late. Some will though, but it's always a guaranteed thing when they do. Um, Winston says, I had one tell me, if you hope we're having sex, it's just hopes. When I called her over, I know it was ways to flip that on her, but I didn't want to take that tone from a sub six. Yeah, I mean, if it's a sub six, you know, um, a sub six, I know, you know, so, uh, I mean, what did you, how did you reply to her? Um, Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, if a girl says if you hope we're having sex, it's just hopes. I mean, that's yeah, that's her plausible deniability. That doesn't mean that you weren't gonna have sex with her. I mean, that's like I said, all girls do this. You know, pretty much all do that when they say they're coming to your house. You know, uh, they will usually, you know, 90% of the time they'll say something like, you know, we're not, as long as you know we're not having sex, but that, you know, it might mean you're not having sex, but the chances are it's not, yeah, I've said it, it's her plausible deniability because they need to have an out. If they haven't met you before, they don't know what you look like. They don't, well, they might know what you look like, but they haven't met you in real life. You know, if things go really badly, then it's her plausible deniability. Um, you know, I said not with that attitude. All right. Well, I mean, you know, if it's a sub six, then you know you might just want your whole, but you know, I guess yeah, say if it was even if it wasn't even say if it was an eight or you know, whatever, it doesn't matter if it's a sub six, whatever, you still have to play, you know, you still have to just say, yeah, sure, yeah, no, we're just gonna chill, listen to music, you know, you just roll with it. You don't like you don't you know, just understand that it's plausible deniability. Um, you know, it's like when girls come over and they say, "Oh, you know, I don't usually do this on the first date," you know, and they're like, you know, this is just part of the routine. Like it's just it doesn't mean that they don't want to have sex. It's just they don't want to seem like a slut, you know. Um, that's all that is. Yeah, and it could be. I mean, it could be for real. Yeah, there's gonna be those times where it is like, yeah, like I had a girl that was like, what was it? Yeah, so a girl came over, and you know, this was just last week, but you know, she came out like the usual thing. We had sushi. I met her at my local station. We went for some food. Um, you know, she said she was hungry, so you know, I went and ate with her. Usually don't like to eat, but you know, I'll make an exception sometime. Anyway, walked her back to my house. I think I talked about this on last week's show, but you know, so I made my move on her. You know, sorry, and she said, what did she say? She said, stop. And then like I was massaging her at the time, and that was okay. So I was massaging her shoulders, and you know, I was like, feel good, and she was like, yeah, it feels good. And and then I made my move. I tried to kiss her neck, and she said, stop. And then I continued massaging her, and then and I was continued talking to her a little bit. You know, give it some more time. She'll probably warm up. Then I made my move again, and you know, just a not a really aggressive move, just a slow move. Tried to kiss her neck, and she said, "Didn't you hear me the first time?" didn't you hear me the first time? You have to respect me. And I was like, okay, that's annoying because it wasn't even an aggressive move. It was like just like slow, like I'm just trying my follow. So I was like, okay, yeah, we're done. So I just said, yeah, okay, yeah. It's like okay, I'm like I'm not gonna. If she said, she could just say, I'm not. She didn't need to be like that. So I was like, okay, let's roll out. Let's go back. So I just, I finished the date immediately then because you don't have to put up with that kind of like you know unnecessary like outrage. Us trying our luck. Um, you know what I mean? As guys, it's always going to be us. Like we're the ones that have to make the move. So, if a girl gives you stink attitude just for making a move, yeah, just like I mean, there's shit tests and then there's like stink bad attitude. Um, that it's a red flag. You don't want to deal with it. Most girls will give a shit test, but yeah, there's a difference between like last minute resistance and shit tests and then just outright like just stink attitude, like just kind of looking for trouble kind of shit. Yeah, she did not need to say it like that. I mean, like I said, it wasn't at all an aggressive move. I was already massaging her shoulder. I didn't like, um, but she was like, "Didn't you hear me the first time?" And I was like, "Oh, right, okay, we're done. Like, let's go. Like, yeah, no more massage. I'm out." Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, you don't need to take that kind of. But it's always going to be down to us. Like, we have to make the first move. Humans wouldn't exist. Like nothing. Like there'd be no babies. There'd be no um procreation, there'd be no sex if men didn't make the first move. The human race would just die out. It would just die out. We'd be done. It would just be done because women don't do that. And honestly, they don't have the courage they don't have the resistance. They don't have resilience. Women don't like understand rejection like men do. And that's just part of we have to learn to get used to rejection, like and just and not get used to it, but like not let it affect us, you know? Because you don't want to get used to getting rejected. Like you don't want to. It's not like a state you want to be in where you're just like, oh, I'm okay with being rejected. It's that the rejection doesn't affect you. You just learn from getting rejected. It's like water off a duck's back. You just like, who cares? Like next, you know. Um, let's see. Winston says, I have my typical reply. Is that all you think about? Yeah, that's a good. It's always good to turn the tables like that. Be a little clever with it. You never get butthurt. Never come across as being like butthurt. Um, uh, you know, if you can just like make a joke out of it, like if some chick is like getting butthurt with you and like giving you shit, like flip, I mean, it's a bit of a red flag if they're giving you attitude, but you really need to meet someone before you can really judge them, I think. But um yeah, so yeah, I mean, if chicks are like, no, she was trash. She kept telling me about how she had 3 dates a day and shit. Yeah, I mean, if chicks are like giving you that kind of attitude and like trying to like in a way she's trying to, you know, I don't know. Yeah, it's that's obviously a red flag. I would never ever trust a chick like that. Not in a million years. Uh, it's always a very large red flag when women start dishing out that kind of information. Like it's one thing if you kind of ask her about it and get her to give you that information, but if they're willingly telling you stuff like that, a lot of the time they're trying to fuck with you. Um, and they'll just waste your time, and you might not even end up ever meeting them, or even if you do meet them, they'll just have an ignorant, stinky attitude, and it'll be really annoying. Um, yeah, but I guess today I just want to I guess I was going to talk about um the notion when women don't reply, it's really just says one thing, and it says that you are not the top of her to-do list, basically. Um, it's just it's really like that. It's just the way it is. And they'll lie. They'll tell lies that they'll say like there's this, that, and the other. Um, and some guys like they'll have like really stinky attitudes in their messaging, and you just got to understand that these girls cannot be trusted, and don't invest too much in these kind of chicks with low interest. I'm not saying to like throw them out, throw the baby out with the bathwater. You don't need to block them. You don't need to delete them. Well, okay, it depends on how badly they behave, but it depends on what they're doing. But like this chick today that I was gonna meet, um, I was supposed to meet her before, and she kind of canceled that time too. But this chick has such a I haven't met her, but I'd say she's a solid seven, a solid seven. Really nice body though, but she is the most entitled, stinky, like yeah, very this. I know I'm definitely not at the top of this chick's at the top of her yeah to-do list, just because I can tell from her messaging style. Um, but basically, I matched with her on Bumble, and she opened with I really like your beard, so that was that showed me that she had some interest. But yeah, as soon as there was one time when I think it was like a week or two ago, I it was a Sunday or something, and I was gonna meet her, and then she messaged me and said she like we hadn't decided the time or anything, but she messaged me and said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have a fever or something," um, and you know that showed me I didn't believe it was clearly a lie. It was one of those things where I'd say she just met someone else that was at the top of her list. So that was like, okay, this girl is in that category now. You have to categorize these women, like when they kind of flake like that. Um, Although it wasn't a solid date, we had said, okay, maybe on like that night we were going to meet, and then she flaked and said that. But that was like, okay, this girl has low interest. But this girl had written on her Bumble account, it says, two truths and a lie. I'm afraid of clowns. It took me almost 1 year to get over how good the sex it was from my ex, and I'm used to watching movies from dawn till sundown. So yeah, she basically after the time she said she had a high fever, I said to her, "Are you going to go to the doctor yet?" And she didn't reply. Basically, she just like so a week later, um, I sent her just to, like sometimes you can you put them on ice. You don't reply. If they don't reply, you can at least a week until like you can go back there again. At least 7 days. But I just wanted to see out of kind of curiosity, like out of this, I wanted to know which the lie was, because it's kind of interesting when a girl says that. It's kind of slutty. It's kind of Um, so I sent her the screenshot and I said, "So you're still missing the sex from your ex?" And then she says, "Huh?" She replied immediately. By the way, that was interesting. So she didn't even read my last message, and then she didn't reply for a week. She didn't reply at all. So I sent her the screenshot, and she said, "Huh? You mean in general or with ex?" I said, "With your ex." And then she says,
of course, no. Um, and then I said, in general. And then she says, who is going to say no to amazing sex? Um, and I said, so have you had amazing sex recently? And then she said, how recently? And I said, well, when is the last time some guy made you scream in ecstasy? And she said, well, maybe 2 months ago. So this, she's kind of coming out of the closet at this point. So 2 months ago, I'd say it was probably 2 weeks ago. I mean, if she says 2 months ago, she's probably trying to make it sound like it was kind of like a while ago, but it was probably 2 weeks ago, or even less. And even if it was 2 months ago, she's definitely been having sex in between then and now. And so I just sent her then I just sent her two pictures, selfies of me, kind of like showing my, I wasn't naked, but like showing my abs. And then I said, I'm pretty sure I'd make you scream. But I'm not like even, this is the kind of thing you do when it's like, I'm willing to burn the bridge, you know. Um, I'm telling you, like, guys, don't send dick pics. That's definitely a bridge burner. But you can send a pic like like a good, like, flattering, like, body shot. But dick pics don't. I'm sure some chicks maybe like them, but you can just take it that they don't like them. But um, anyways, so she says, "Huh? Are you drunk or just horny?" Um, so I'm just trying to, so I said, no, not drunk at all. You were not very responsive to my messages, so I had to get your attention somehow. And then she says, okay, well, you got my attention now. And yeah, so basically, yeah, it goes on for a little bit, but yeah, I started talking a bit about photography. And she asked me to send me some photos of my photography. So everyone in this chat probably knows about my photography game. So I sent her some of the erotic kinds of photos I took. Um, and she asked me, did just stuff like just some random photos I had. And she says, huh, nice pic. Did you have sex with any model? And I just said, yes, but it's usually just with girls that I was having sex with anyway. So she says, cool. And I just didn't respond to her. Sometimes it's just good um, not to respond to them. Just cut them off for a bit, teach them a lesson. And then she hit me up. She hit me up this morning and says, or what's she say? She hit me up like 8:30 a.m. and says, what's your plan today? And I was still with that Filipino chick. So I didn't respond till like 1 p.m. because I was busy with the Filipino chick. And I said, I have some errands to do, but I could meet you later for coffee. And she said, she responds, when you gonna free? When you gonna free? So she says, I have an interview later in such and such a place. And I said, well, I'm flexible. We could meet after your interview. And she just says, keep you updated. I just say, good luck with your interview. And then suddenly, randomly at like 3 p.m., she says, where are you? And I respond by saying, where I'm at. And I say, so can you meet up? And she responds an hour later, an hour later, and says, in Nakame. She doesn't, I asked her, did she want to meet up? And she just says, in such and such a place. And I say then, well, I'm kind of hungry. You want to meet at um, such and such a station, my station? And she just responds, no. So this girl has a bad attitude. Yeah. Suddenly she has this stinky attitude, which makes me think that she has, makes me think that I'm not on the top of her agenda, or on the top of her to-do list, because it's kind of like I'm getting the impression that she's messaging multiple guys, and she's waiting. She knows which guy she wants to meet, and she's hoping that she can meet him, but maybe he's not been as responsive, and I'm kind of her backup plan. Like she's that's why this is why she's being slow with the responses. This is the kind of game. These are the kind of games chicks play. Just see, when you learn game, you like guys without game would never even consider this. They'd just be like, oh, she's busy, or she is this, that. No, like they're like strategically trying to find which guy, because she wants to meet a certain guy, right? And you know she probably has like two or three other guys like me or whatever, that are kind of like backup plans. Like, I'm not gonna play by those that game. So she said no, and then I said, so what then? Your message, and then I just said, your message etiquette is really annoying, kind of, and then laughing face. So it might be too much just to say like your message etiquette is really annoying, and like not try and like dampen the not dampen but lessen like the saltiness. I had the laughing emoji, just because. But so I'm telling her the her message etiquette is annoying. It for sure is annoying, but I'm not really, I can laugh it off. I'm not gonna be like salty about it, because if you thing is, if you come off too salty, that's really unattractive. So, but anyway, I said it. Um, and then she says, I can't log into my account. And I have no idea what that means. What does she mean she can't log into her account? If she's like, what account does she mean? I don't know what she's talking about. She's just messing with me at this point. Um, so what does that mean? She can't log into her messaging account. How can you send a message if you can't log in? So I don't know what the hell she's talking about. And then she didn't. So I said, what account? And then she just didn't reply. So I just tried to, so like just before the show, I messaged her and said, how was your date? Because you want to try and, I want to see if she's gonna come clean and get some truth from her. And then she says, actually, no, but I had another interview. Um, so I just said, I thought you couldn't log into your account. And then she says, when I came back home to get Wi-Fi, I can log in. So yeah, it's like, yeah, it just you don't I don't believe any of that, but it is what it is. But you kind of want to be you want to strike the middle ground of not being too salty, but not being a super like pushover simp at the same time. You want to be in the middle somewhere. You want to be in the middle ground where she knows she knows you're kind of smart. She knows she can't really walk all over you because you're kind of clever. You kind of know what she's up to. And then at the same time, you don't want to be the simp that just like, lets her away with things. And then, if you're a simp and you behave like that, she'll just like, she'll just, it's not that she'll take advantage of or do anything. She just won't ever meet you, or something. She just won't respond to you, or like she'll ghost you and she'll move on. She'll lose interest. But if you're kind of like sparking her interest by like, letting her know like in a not too salty way that you're kind of onto her games, she'll think, oh, this guy's kind of clever. He kind of knows the game. Like, and if she was on another date, that will show her that like I know the game really well. I know what's up. I understand females. That's kind of that'll show her that I have game, and that I have experience with chicks. But and I know what chicks are like. But I'd be willing to bet some money that she probably was on another date. Um, that's how these chicks operate. Um, they want to they want to get they'll go for the guy they want, but if they can't get him, they'll settle for some other dude to come in and fill the place. I can be that dude, but I'm not going to she's gonna have to play by my rules. Then she's the type of girl I will not go out of my way to meet. Now she's in the category of definitely only at my in my locality, because she's very unreliable. She's not worth it. Just her behavior isn't good. When a girl behaves really well and is really good etiquette, sometimes you can like be a nice guy and actually take them on a date because they earned it. They kind of behaved well. They were responsive to your messages. They didn't have any attitude. They didn't have any drama. So yeah, you can go and have lunch with them somewhere. You can go and buy them lunch, whatever. Um, it's because I appreciate when girls don't give me that drama and turn up on time, and especially when if you're going to date and a chick is dressed up like looking hot, stylish, fancy, wearing high heels, she clearly like put in effort to be on a date, you know, and she's like she was responsive to messages, then it's not all about just like taking them immediately back to your house and smashing. Although that's exactly what I want to do, but sometimes because with these chicks, like for chicks, like they're them getting us guys on dates to take them on dates is them fucking us. That's their sex. That's you know when they go on a date with us and we buy them lunch or dinner and and then that's it, and then they ghost us. They're like, I fucked that guy. Yeah, that's the way they think. That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of us smashing and dashing. Uh, but she will not get a free lunch. No, no way. Just by poor etiquette. Um, you know. So what you gotta understand when these chicks don't respond in a timely manner, they're letting indirectly or directly, you know, they're not saying it outright, but they're pretty much telling you like indirectly, like you're not really on my to-do list. You're not at the top of the list. There's a waiting line, you're down the line. That's a harsh reality. Some guys don't like to accept it, but it's better to acknowledge it and understand it than to have your time get wasted and then your resources. Um, Another thing is like you're gonna have to like accept the fact if you want to enter the player life that you're gonna meet annoying women. Like they're gonna be annoying. Like their behavior's annoying. So it just you have to kind of not get used to it, but like learn how to deal with it and like let it kind of roll off your back because like water off a duck's back because it's unavoidable. Like you're gonna meet really annoying women, like just annoying behaviors, and that doesn't mean you should accept it, but at the same time you don't get like butthurt about it. You don't get like salty about it. You don't start like getting like all hateful about it. It's just kind of part of female nature. Um, you know, I would say like my relationship with women is a love hate relationship, and it's a healthy thing because like if you become like hateful towards women, then you're hopeless then because you'll be too salty. You'll have too much like of a chip off your shoulder to like properly seduce a woman because you'll have that stink on your face of just saltiness. But if you're on the other hand, if you love women too much, then you're like in the simp category. You're in the like you're in that like pathetic kind of groveling. You know what I mean? You want to strike a balance where it's like love hate kind of thing, where you're like you can. There's things you love about women and there's things you hate about women, but you don't let either one get the better of you, if you know what I mean. Um, you just want to strike a balance, yeah. But yeah, so let's see. Um, yeah, Winston says alpha widowed maybe. Yeah, probably alpha widowed. She said it was. She said that was a lie, but probably not. She probably really misses that sex. Like guys, if you take down a chick, like, and you spark her, you know, I think like sex is unbelievably important, but to really make an alpha widow, it can't only be about sex. Like you have to have good sex, but you also need to spike her emotions, and actually have develop an emotional connection with her. But if you do both, if you can lay you know lay her out and like take her down properly, and create an emotional connection with her, she'll be alpha widowed for sure. um for sure. One is not enough. If your deck game is spectacular, but you've no game, you're not like able to like chill and talk with a woman. That won't be enough to like make her like love you. Uh, Same goes the other thing. If you're like if you're really good at personality wise, if you're able to talk to her and like make her feel good, but your date game is shit, she'll never love you like deeply. You need both to make a woman really love you, like deeply love you. You need to be able to dick her down, make her calm, make her scream. You need to be able to, and then you need that emotional connection. And then if you have both of those things, like she'll fall deeply in love with you. But yeah, and obviously, if you have all the other things like money, muscles, then it's game over. You know. Yeah, let's see. Danny says that's been my luck often. My luck oftentimes as well. They are really interested, then the lesson or drop off completely. I kind of surmise that they found a different dude they like more. Yeah, you snooze, you lose in this game. So you got to strike while the iron's hot. So if they're into you, you got to go for it. You got to make it happen ASAP. Winston says, "Great show again. Thank you, indeed." Um, Danny says, "I don't do fruity calls anymore. I'm not accepting being treated like that. That's actually one of my favorite red pill lessons. Knowing one's worth. Indeed, you know, you got to be treated how you want to be treated. But yeah, fruity calls. Chicks will. Sometimes you gotta take them at the start when you're starting to learn go on dates. If you haven't been on a lot of dates, then you gotta take the dates at the start, and then once your game gets better and better, you can start calling the shots. Then Danny says, "I was that simp category. Embarrassing. Never again." It's good you acknowledge it, and once you acknowledge it, that shows you that you've come a long way. So I mean, most people were at some point. I certainly was at some point. I remember I went on 5 dates with one chick, and this was back years ago. 5 dates, and this was spread out over about 6 weeks, and that really changed me. Not on the fifth date, she told me she wanted to be friends, and I was a changed man after that. But we all you learn from your mistakes. That's the main thing. But I'll call it there tonight. As usual, like, comment, subscribe, and I will be back tomorrow night with more stories. So wherever you're at, have a nice day. Also, check out the links in the description, and I will catch you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Japanese time. All right, peace out. Have a good one. Catch you later.